Hello everyone, welcome back to another Bed Wars video, and today I'm gonna make a pretty interesting, video that I've been trying to make for quite a long time, and it's about future Bed Wars updates. As you can see, in every single game mode it says version 1.6, and it has been on version 1.6 since I think middle of 2019, so that's a very long time for Bed Wars to go without an update. So obviously I'm going to be discussing in this video, does Bed Wars need another update? What are the positives and negatives of an update? And if there was an update, what type of content would be needed to go in it? And then all at the end, is it worth it? The conclusion. So as you guys may know, Bed Wars is Hypixel's most popular game as of last week, in fact. If you go to the main lobby, Bed Wars should be, yes, Bed Wars is ahead of Skyblock, and for most hours of the day Bed Wars is ahead of Skyblock, and I think Bed Wars a few days ago hit 47,000 players during peak time, which is the most of any single game. I think Skyblock's peak was 45,000 at one point. So Bed Wars is the world record for a Hypixel game, and also it's generally ahead of Skyblock most hours of the day, even though it hasn't been updated in more than 18 months. Well, Skyblock gets updates very frequently, so it shows that Bed Wars really is a game that Hypixel needs to consider updating, and not just more content. Bed Wars is a balanced game, however, just quality of life changes, which I will go into in depth in the next sections. So obviously the first section I'll be talking about is what are the positives of a Bed Wars update. Okay, so my first thing I'm going to talk about is the positives of adding a Bed Wars update. So firstly, obviously, as we know, it will make the player experience much more enjoyable, not necessarily because of the new content, which I honestly think Bed Wars is as balanced as it is, however, because of the quality of life changes, the bug fixes, and a lot of other things that I'm going to go into in the next section. So Bed Wars, obviously, there are a lot of bugs, such as just a few things. I'm going to say the invisibility glitch, the spawn invisibility glitch. Sometimes there are times that you can't hit a person, the invincibility glitch. This is more rare. And obviously, fireballs actually putting you on fire, that should not have happened. That shouldn't be something that happened. They were supposed to fix that a long time ago. However, obviously we've been living with that for a very long time. However, that's something that needs to change to make the experience more enjoyable to players. Another thing is more on the Hypixel business side of things. Adding an update would significantly, draw more people to the game. So they're saying, oh, Bed Wars has been updated, maybe there's some new content. It doesn't need to be anything major, just something new may make more people come to play. Obviously, Skyblock, whenever it gets updated, you see a large influx of players. And Bed Wars, even though they haven't been updated, they've been doing pretty well, so an update could freshen things up and potentially draw even more people into the game. And obviously, the final thing that a Bed Wars update could do is, depending on what content is added, it could give people an incentive to grind the game again. Maybe this can happen in a few ways. Maybe they come to Bed Wars again, they find that the experience is much more enjoyable because of all the fixes in the update, and then they get an incentive to start grinding again, which can provide a more permanent source of players to Bed Wars. Maybe some new content could persuade people to grind new achievements, maybe some sort of any sort of new mechanic or something like that. Maybe a new dream mode, which is one of the things that have been very requested. Obviously, all full game modes in Hypixel Bed Wars have been pretty similar. They've been really balanced. There's nothing too much you can do with them, but obviously a dream mode is where Hypixel can really experiment and add a lot of new content, and adding a new dream mode could really bring a lot of people into the game, and obviously try the new dream mode out, and from that, they could start playing normal Bed Wars again. So now we're going to talk about some negatives of adding a new Hypixel Bed Wars update. Now, there's a few scales of this. Obviously, Hypixel can go the route of just adding an update where they quality of life update where they fix bugs, stuff like that. And in that case, there really isn't a negative to that. There isn't much time going into it. There isn't much of a negative to that. Honestly, they should do that anyway, regardless of what. But when you go to a more in-depth update where you add new content, new dream modes and stuff like that, obviously there is a lot of development time going into that. And already there is a lot of time going to the new map rotations that happen pretty frequently, which is one of the things I'm pretty happy about. Hypixel is adding a lot of new map rotations, but they may not be great maps or anything, but you know, they're trying to do something, and the admin team is fairly involved with the adding of new maps into the community on the forums. So that's a positive. And there are, like, with adding new things, there is resources going into that. It may be harder for them to work on, say, skyblock, and for a while there was a good reason to that. Skyblock was the most popular game. However, recently we're finding there has been a trend of people shifting to Bedwars. Obviously, people are playing skyblock, and then they're going into Bed Wars and finding, oh, Bed Wars is fun, you know, maybe activating their inner competitive spirit and playing more Bed Wars. So slowly, there's a trend towards Bed Wars getting more players and skyblock still getting a lot of players, but not as much as Bed Wars. So I really think now that Bed Wars is technically the most popular game, they should focus on adding some new content into the game. And for the final section, we're going to be talking about what type of content, what an example of things Hypixel could add, just giving you guys like a glimpse of what could be added into the game. So keep in mind, I have taken a lot of this information from the forums, two specific threads from two people who are very involved in the community and who have been advocating for our Bed Wars update for quite a long time. None Left and T-Langy. None Left, you may know, is a Bed Wars leaderboard player, number 6 on the Stars leaderboard, and I think over 1600 star, so she's very experienced at the game, and I think almost top 100 in every single game mode, so she knows everything you really can about Bed Wars, and it's very quantified. T-Langy is also someone who's very involved in the community and has made very detailed threads, more detailed than I'm going to in this video, since I'm just giving you guys an overview of what needs to be done. So I will link those threads in the description, so if you really want to read everything, I highly recommend going onto those threads. So keep in mind the following suggestions. These are ideas. They may not be good, they may not be to your liking. Some of these are my own opinion, some of these are the people who I just mentioned above, so their opinion. And firstly, there is a lot of talk to add a new Dream is obviously where Hypixel can add the most content into the game, and it's an area that will really benefit them. And they've been around the same Dream modes for quite a long time. Ultimate, Rush, Lucky Block, Voidless, and Castle, and they're all pretty fun depending on your opinion. Some people don't like some people like some people don't like Voidless. However, obviously a new Dream mode would really be interesting. A lot of people would want to try it out, me included. This could obviously, as I said above, potentially bring people into the main Bed Wars core 4 game modes. And this is why I feel Dream modes are really somewhere Hypixel should expand on. Another area Hypixel could work on is not exactly work on something, but something that has been requested for a very, very long time. This is more controversial. This is something they'll need to think about. How it's the removal of 4v4 from counting towards official stats. 4v4 is an incredibly unfair game mode to people who play other games. There's now people who are getting on the leaderboard just by maining 4v4, and they've only been playing for a few months, while some of these other people have been playing for years, because it's so easy to get wins in 4v4. You can just be grinding 300 wins a day fairly easily, honestly, compared to other game modes where it's nearly impossible. And getting the leaderboard, which is undermining the work of a lot of other people. And 4v4, even the concept is pretty ridiculous. It's only 2 teams of 4 people, whereas 4v4 is the same thing but with 4 people, which is, it's like adding 1v1 as an official Bed Wars game mode. And this is something that definitely needs to be removed. 4v4 can be a game mode, but have its separate leaderboard, and not count towards the overall leaderboard. And yeah, with 4v4, that's something that really needs to be done. There's a lot of boosting as well in 4v4. And in my opinion, this is also where Hypixel can expand and add a separate section for Bedwars duels, which can be done in a format 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4. And this can also help include and incorporate the ranked Bedwars community into the update, and make it easier for them to participate rather than making private games. Maybe advanced private game customization for Bedwars, that could also be really useful for ranked Bedwars players, and solo 1v1ers as well. It's very convenient even for people who don't have MVP++, because it's not just about the private game, it's also just if you want to 1v1 someone. I think that's something they can really do, just like they did Skywars duels, they can add Bedwars duels. Another interesting suggestion would be to add your leaderboard position outside of the official leaderboard. So for example, if you want to see your position, add it under this. You can add a separate leaderboard for dream modes as well. For example, to see what the leaderboard could look like. So for an example of what that will look like, as you can see in the arcade lobby, you have number 1 to number 10, and then it shows your position as well. So that can be something that they can add. A lot of like a dual toggling system where you can toggle between the core 4 game modes, 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, and the dream modes, rush, whatever, lifetime, weekly, daily, whatever. So that's another thing they can add with the leaderboards. Maybe give people who like playing dream modes an incentive to play the game, adding to the play count and the interest in the game. Because obviously, the thing with dream is I'm very competitive. I want to play a game mode that can get me on the leaderboard, such as solos. People who play dream think it's just like a casual game. There's no real leaderboard for it. You can't really have yourself on that. So adding a leaderboard for dreams could be really useful. It can helpful to help people who want to play dreams play it more, because that'll help the play count go up and give people incentive to play. Another thing that could be added into the game is fixing a lot of bugs, such as, for example, if a party member leaves the queue before the game starts, the party shouldn't be split into different teams. Just balancing items a bit, prices, fireballs, making it a bit more expensive, stuff like that. Punch bows can be a bit more expensive. KB sticks can be reverted back to a bit more expensive. And there's a lot of other stuff that can be added. You can look in the thread for an example, the threads that I'm going to link in the description. There is a lot of stuff you can do. Invisibility glitch, like I mentioned before. Issues with the hotbar manager, things like that. Now the issues, I don't think this actually causes an issue, but when you buy Pro 2, Pro 3, it doesn't actually update your protection thing on the side unless you click it. I think this is only a cosmetic issue, but it can annoy people a bit and can cause some doubt on whether that actually does anything. However, that should be fixed as well, since I remember they had fixed it, but then it got added back, so yeah. Also, 700 stars. I have not made a video about that. I hit it 3 days ago. Yes, I have gotten 15 stars in a while. But in conclusion, that is basically all I have to say for the Bedwars 1.7 update. Is it worth it? Should there be an update? Yes, I think there should be. And I think this should go beyond the basic bug fixing. They should add a new dream mode, add all those quality of life changes, and fix a lot of the bugs in Bedwars for quite a long time. I feel it could help increase the player count more, give people incentive to grind the game for a longer period of time, and really help Bedwars overall, since it is now Hypixel's most successful, popular game over all these years. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I'm considering making a lot more of these informative documentary style videos in the future, so let me know if you liked it, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.